My wife's a Wolverine, I'm a Hoosier. The boys are Mountaineers, and we have been Hawkeyes, we have been Buckeyes, and now we're Wildcats. Yeah, I got shirts from all the places. I'm from Indianapolis originally, that's my hometown. I grew up in a single-parent home, so I didn't have a father, and really looked up to people at church who were in positions of leadership, and so they kind of mentored me. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in religion, in addition to my education for healthcare administration. So I am married, been married 23 years to my wife, who also is a St. Elizabeth employee. She works in outpatient behavioral health. She's a mental health therapist. And then I have 2 teenage sons, and one's a volunteer here. In fact, he'll be going into his junior year at Connor High School. And then I've got a son who is going to 8th grade at Connor Middle School. My wife's from Michigan originally, and so we met in college, and I went to college in West Tennessee. So remember, they used to always have a Bob Hope Christmas special, right? So my wife and I, at the time, we had dated just a very little bit. So we both went home for Christmas. She was going home to Michigan. I had driven back to Indianapolis. And so they ended up diverting her plane to Indianapolis. I was watching the Bob Hope Christmas special, and she was too. So she called me and said, I'm at this hotel on the west side of Indianapolis, and just thought I'd let you know I'm in your town. And I said, hey, I want to see you. So I went and saw her, and I don't know, it was one of those kind of, weird kind of things that kind of cemented our relationship. We went back to college, and it just kind of took off, and we started kind of going together, and then we were engaged in August of that year. We went to go see Doc Hollywood, and we got Little Caesars Crazy Bread. We took a walk, and I proposed to her, and she said, I guess so, and I said, that won't do. You need to say yes, and so she said yes. We got married at an antebellum mansion in Columbia, Tennessee that used to be owned by the John Deere family, and we honeymooned in Nashville, and at the time, there was a place called the Opryland theme park, and that's where we went for our honeymoon. We were poor, we were in college, so we had to go back to college and finish out. We would go to McDonald's, and we would get a value meal, the 2 cheeseburger value meal, and we would split it. And we'd split the Coke, we'd split the fries, she'd get a hamburger and I'd get a hamburger, and that was all we could afford, and we were happy to get it. I may go somewhere and someone asks me what I do for a living, and they say, oh, let me tell you about our experience with St. Elizabeth Healthcare and with your hospice program. And it might have been 10 years ago, it might have been last month, but people continue to be impacted by what we do. A lot of people say, how can you do that? All your patients, isn't that sad? And it is sad, but it's rewarding too, to know that you really made a difference at the very, very end of life for your patients and their families. I routinely get letters in the mail, handwritten letters from families that indicate thank you for the care, listing staff members by name. We've been able also in hospice to fulfill a lot of end-of-life wishes. So we have patients, because of their financial situation, there's something they'd like to do before they pass away, but they can't afford to do it. And so we're able to access foundation dollars when people donate. We had a young mother of 4 children. She was in her 20s. She wanted her kids to go to the Newport Aquarium. And when I found out about that, I said, well, what else can we do? Can we take these kids out to lunch? And so we asked, where would you like to go? And I was expecting someplace a little bit highfalutin. They all want to go to McDonald's. We arranged for her and her kids to go to McDonald's, and they went to the Newport Aquarium, and we were able to take some pictures of that. And just a few weeks after that, she passed away. And some of those children were very small, probably will not remember very much about their mother, but there's pictures that we were able to take of an experience that they were able to have. And so it's those kind of unique things that we're able to do. You know, it's a blessing to be invited into someone's personal life with all their pictures on the mantelpiece, to be invited into their home, into their family. What an honor, what a privilege to maybe even sit at the same table with them and drink a cup of coffee in that very intimate space and be a part of that. It makes me realize how precious life is. and valuable. I need to spend as much time as I can with my family, with my wife. Treasure that time, because you never know when something will happen. You have to value every moment. Every moment's precious and is a blessing.